Hello, we'll look at some basic configuration steps in SAP MM. The very first thing is you have to create enterprise structure, which is you have to define the plant, you have to define the storage location, you have to assign plant to the company, you have to define purchasing organization, and you also have to assign plans to the purchasing organization. And also we'll look at the material master field selection, creating material types, number ranges for material types, creating the industry sector for material types, and also we'll get into the configuration for the purchasing document. Okay, so I'm already logged in to into SAP. So I'm just going to go into SPRO. Most of the configuration for the basic definition are in the enterprise structure, the enterprise structure, then definition. Go to logistics general. The very first thing is the valuation level. This has already been set. For this client, the valuation is set at the plant level. So any of the valuation, any of the inventory will be managed at the plant level in this case. It cannot be changed once it is set. The second one is the actually creating the plans. I'll click on the define plant. Always take the one that is currently working. For example, I'm just taking the plant 1000 and I'm copying it to 1002. Okay. I'm just going to create the same thing here. Maybe test plant, and I'll leave everything the same for now. And also I'll leave it's going to show you the address section. I'll leave everything the same, or if it is actually a real plant, you can change the address for that plant also. So now I have a plant called 1002. This pretty much looks identical to plant 1000. This is a pretty easy step, and you just click on the save, and then you'll get your transport number, and you just click on save. So now you have a new plant. Okay. The second one is the location. What are some of the locations for this particular plant? Again, I'm just going to go back to plant 1000 here. So I'm just going to copy. There is a production area in the plant, there is a warehouse area, and there is a storage area in the plant. The locations within the plant. I'm just going to copy all of them, and I'm going to do 2, 2, and 2. All the plants I created. My country, I'm just going to keep it as DE. Okay, again DE. It's asking for all the locations, and I got it. I save it, and I get the transport number. So I created plant. I created location. Now I go into materials management, and I'm going to create storage location for plant 1002. I click here, and they say new entries. So I'm just giving me a new storage location. I'm just going to have one storage location. One. Okay, I could have more as well. Okay. Now I'm going to maintain purchasing organizations. Same thing, I can take purchasing organization 1000, I can copy to purchasing organization 102. Okay, and I'm just going to save it. In the logistics execution, there is not a lot. Now I'm just going to go to my assignment section. I'm going to go back to logistics general. So now I have the plant that I have created 1002. I need to assign it to the company code. I know the company code is going to be 1000. So I'm just going to copy the 1000, 1000, and now I'm going to keep my company code the same and then assign it to plant 1002. And I'm just going to save it. So I have created a plant, assigned it to the company code. I'm just going to go back to materials management. My purchasing organization that I created, I can assign it to a company code. Again, here there is a 1000 to company code 1000. There is this one, my 1002. Assign it to my 1000 also. I'm going to save that step. Okay. And now I'm going to assign purchasing organization to the plant. So the plant that I have created right now, I'm just going to assign it to purchasing organization 1000. So I'm just going to find the entries for 1000, 1000, and I'm just going to copy, and I'm going to assign it to my 1002. Okay. So my basic, steps are pretty much done here. My plant 1002 to my purchasing organization 1000. That's just the default for the plant. I'm pretty much done with the assign the enterprise structure at this point. Okay. Now that plant 1002 is available for us to create a PO. So I'm just going to take an existing PO. I'm going to adapt it. I'm going to change. I'm just going to create just a basic material here. I'm just going to put a K as a cost center. I'm going to put plant 1002, and I'm just going to create a GL account and a cost center. I'm just going to click. Okay. So now I'm creating a PO for the plant we just created, test German plant. Okay. And I just kept my organization data pretty much the same, 1000, because I already assigned my plant to company code and to this purchasing organization. So that should all be good. I don't have any messages, and I'll just save my PO. So now I have a PO 17608, which is plant 1002. Okay, I'm just going to double click on the plant. You can see the plant we just created, test German plant. Okay, so now I can take it to my goods receipt on these things, and I should have my inventory for this plant. So the next thing I would like to show the configuration steps are the purchasing data, or we can actually look at I'd like to show the purchasing right now. Go into materials management, purchasing, and purchase order. Okay. So in this section, we'll see how to create the member ranges, document types, tolerance limits, release procedures, and also set up the stock transport orders and other basic configuration. So the very first thing is you can create document types here. Document types are when you actually flip to the PO creation. Whatever you see here, these are all the document types. So there are multiple document types here. We could actually go and create one document type. So I'm just going to delete a couple of document types. There's a lot of test document types here that were created. I'm just going to delete them. String 1. Okay. A lot of so I'm just going to take the standard PO, which is the NB, and I'm just going to copy it to ZNB2. Okay. I'm just going to say test PO for demo. Okay. I'm going to copy all entries for this case, a lot of dependent entries in this case. And now I have a new document type called ZNB2, and I'm going to be using number interval 45, or I can assign a brand new number interval at this point. And I can click on this and I can go into item categories. These are the default item categories that it got copied over. Say for this example, I'm just going to only do limits, only do service. I'm going to delete everything. Okay. Okay, so I'll just leave that. So so this particular PO ZNB2 will only allow standard PO and also service PO. Okay. And do all these things, and I'm going to come out, and I'm just going to save it. And now let's look at the number ranges. We've been using 45, so I could actually pick up another number range for this particular document type. I can use 46. 45 ranges from 45000, all the zeros, to 49, and this is the latest PO number. But I can also choose to use 46. Okay? And number ranges, you can add new number ranges. You can go to the change, and you can always add a brand new number range, and here. So if you check here, those are external number ranges. Let's see if I click on 45. 45 is not checked, so it's an internal number range, not external number range. Okay. And I can go back to my document type. I can go to my ZNB document type that I created, ZNB2, and I'll put in 46 here. Okay. And I will save it. You can also set tolerance limits for price varies. For, let's say, for my company code 1000 here, the company code 1000, I can do a lower limit, an upper limit, or I can do a percentage. For in company code 1000, I have a price tolerance checked for tolerance limit of 20%. So the price variance between the invoice and the PO would be the upper and lower is 20%. And release procedures here. I'm just going to touch on one more time release procedures. Release procedures uses classes. We use a class called 32. Okay. Which is going to be a, we use the class PO release strategy, which is going to be always look for EKKO. EKKO is the class that recommended to be used for the PO release strategy. In this one, this is all pretty generic information. The key thing is the characteristics. So to release the PO, I can use all of these types, all of these fields as a criteria to release the strategy. So I can create document type. I can use a purchasing organization. I can use purchasing group. I can use net order value, I can use plant, I can also use material group. I can also add another, any brand new characteristic if I choose to, depending on the business. So there are lots of information available. Let's pick something that is relevant. Let's say we already have a material group, we have a plant, a purchasing group, document type, purchasing information, net order value. So let's say we have account assignment category. Okay, the account assignment categories. You can say, I need to have somebody release this thing, approve this thing, if the account assignment category is K, means cost centers. So we can add that. And we can say, means here the class PO release strategy, now it's going to use FRG EKKO. Now we change it. And you can also edit the characteristics. I can go back here one more time, go to the class, click on it, go to the characteristics. I can take one of these things and I can look at the characteristics. I can create my own custom characteristics also. So these characteristics is purchasing organization, and the possible values for these things are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. But I could add more purchasing in an organization. So any values that you would want have to be in this, have to be maintained in the character. Otherwise, they will not show up. And let's go to release procedures. There are release groups. Typically, release group 2 in this case is typed for release object 2. Release object 2 is for the release object 2 is for the release of the PO. It's always the default. In this case, we have release group 2 and release object 2, and the class that we're going to be using is FRGKKO, and this is for release of POs. Yeah, I'm just going to not change release groups, release codes. You can create them. So here there are multiple release codes that I can take the release code PU, I can copy it, I can make the release code called Z9. I can say finance manager, finance MGR. So he needs to release the POs, let's say. And I have a new release code called Z9, which is going to be finance manager. And then you have to take the release code, and then you have to assign the release code to the authorization object, which ties back to the person who is the finance manager. And that has to be done in the security, not in this, not here. Okay. So the key thing here is in the release strategy, I can create my own release strategy. There are multiple release strategies here, so I'm just gonna take my group, which is O2, and my existing strategy PU, and then I'm just gonna copy it. So I'm just gonna call it Z9. Okay, Z9. That's my release strategy. So this is gonna be, let's say, no, I'm not gonna put any values here. I'm just gonna say for material group 001. Okay, material group 001. So any material group, any PO that's created with the material group 001, have to be released. Have to be released by, let's say, this guy called Z9, this finance manager. Okay. So I'm going to click on continue. I'm going to click on continue. Here I'm going to go into classification, and I'm going to put, say, K here. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put in 001. 001. Why not? I'm just going to do K also. So if it is material group 001, and if it is a cost center K, then it's going to be released using the release strategy 9. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and save this one. So now I have a brand new release strategy for a material group 001, and if somebody uses cost center account assignment category as K. Okay. Now we'll see how to trigger this release strategy we just created. I'm just going to create a PO here, and my purchasing organization 1,000, group is 1,000, my company code is 1,000. I know that I created for material group 001, and K if it is a cost center, and my test PO for release. My PO quantity is 1, my net price is $100. It's EA. Here we go. And my plant is going to be 1,000 in this case, and now it's going to be my cost. Okay. So I created it. So this should remember we created a release strategy for if it is metal group 1,000 001, and my account assignment category skate should release using Z9, right? So let's save it. So I created 17611. So I'm just going to refresh it. I'm going to click on 11, and I'm going to go to header, and now it is in status in release. It's blocked for release, and now I have release strategy Z9. The finance manager has to release this particular thing. So this is now being blocked. So I cannot do a good issue, or I cannot use this against a PO. So I can take this PO now. I can go out. I can go into logistics, materials manager, purchasing, purchase order, release. I can do individual release. I can release this particular PO, and this should be done. It is released now. So if I click on the status, it should be release completed. I can save it, and this PO is now ready to be used. Now we were able to create a release strategy and create a PO and see how the release actually applies to the PO, right? So now I can go back to the configuration steps, and I can also do screen layouts for this particular for all the POs. The screen layout defines what you can see and what you cannot see. So this is the screen layout. NBF is the one that we typically use for the POs, and it has all the basic fields in the basic data tab. And what it's saying is all these things are optional, and the material description is typically a display only. That means you cannot change the material description field. Typically, because you already enter the material, you don't want to be changing those things. Okay. And in this case, the required entry is currency is a required entry. Obviously, you have to have a currency, and everything else is just optional. You can kind of tab through these things and see what is required, what is optional, and what is display only. So this all depends on the business processes. You need to work with business users and figure out which ones are optional and what data is really required. So and you can also create text. They're both header level text and item level text. Text typically show up right here in the header. Go back to the text. Yeah. So I can create a header level text. I can also create an item level text. So let's do an example of header level text here. I can go into define text type of header level. I can take an existing one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have up until 16. So I'm just going to take one. I'm just going to copy. I'm going to do 17. Okay. Test text for demo. Okay, and I'm just going to save it. Okay. Now if I go back to my PO, PO, and if I go out maybe a little bit, come back into my ME 21N. I should see test text for demo, so I can put in something here. Okay, this is a demo for PO text. Okay. So there could be a lot of business reasons why you may want to do a custom text. Same thing, you can do item text also right here. Okay. And next one is the setup of the stock transport orders. These are like the moving material from one plant to another plant. So here, all of the 1,000 plants are set up, so I can move stuff from 1,000 to 1,001. I can do 1,000 to 1,100. So all these setups, the combinations are set up, and I have to use the always use this. The stock transporter is always UV. I can also define if it is a one-step or two-step process. So all of the any plants that you want to set up STO has to be have an entry in the stock transport order. And the config is pretty much repeats itself. Once you do the PO config, it is the same for purchase requisitions. The same document numbers, document types, release strategies, screen layouts, text. So it's pretty much all of the configuration is pretty much the same for all of the types: requisitions, requisitions, POs, quotations, and so on, so on. So there are also some other miscellaneous ones. You can take a look at it. Define reasons for cancellation, define reasons for ordering. So they're just reason codes that you actually see when you're actually canceling a PO. Okay. I also want to show you some general, some other configuration here. We'll go back to logistics general. I'm going to go back to Mitchell master. Field selection. And this is where you create material types, okay, in logistics general. So you can go back to define attributes of material types. And these are all the material types that you see when you do MMO1, right? So it's the same thing. I'll take a entry called DIEN. I'll just copy it into a brand new one called ZIEN. Oh, it's already there. So I'm just gonna do Z001, something like that. Okay, test material type for demo. I'm just going to keep all the other ones the same. I copied all the entries. So for my Z001, I'm going to go back into my details. Let's say I don't have MRP, so I'm going to uncheck the MRP for my Z, and also uncheck the classification tab. So these are the ones I'm not going to be able to use it. Okay, and here I can also do an external internal number range. Now right now it's internal number range. I can also do an external number range, and I'm just going to save it. Okay. And my field status reference, what fields should be turned on, what should be on, is right here in the fields for the field selection groups. So for example, if I go into the vendor account number or purchasing organization, this is the field selection group. Field selection group has field names, and it also has the references, the field references. Field references are the ones we actually put it in the, you remember DIN is the one we actually put it into the material type. That's how it composes. So material type has the field reference, and field reference is part of the field group, and you can control which to hide, display, or entry, which fields to display or hide in the material type that you actually are creating. Now I can actually go back and use that Mitchell type that I created. I'm going to go into MMO1. You can see the test Mitchell type demo did show up. So I'm just going to select that. Now this is an external number range, so I'm just going to do M002. Okay, this is an external number range, so I have to supply my own number range. And look at the MRP tab is missing because I unselected the MRP tab and unselected the classification tab. So those would be missing from here and they're not required. So I'm only going to select the basic data tab and purchasing, and this is for plant 1000 and unit of measure is each, and this is the test material for demo, and material group is 001. This is going to be in purchasing organization 1. And now I have a material called M0002, which is an external number range, which is a service kind of a material, which I used my own Mitchell type and put this Mitchell in there. So this is just a demo of how to actually create materials. Again, in the config section, there is quite a bit of config section. So we're going to be looking at, if we go back to the purchasing, we're going to be looking at the product configuration and evaluation account assignment, and for external services and inventory management. So we're going to look at that in the next demo set. Okay.